Aha.
Uh-huh. Good afternoon, good morning, or good grief. I I am your host, Peter Nikolaidis, and I'm in a funny mood. With always me is Adam Bell. I think this is the first time that I have completely royally screwed up the intro, but let's go with it because this is the Blurring the Lines podcast, episode 166. And statistically speaking, I have given this intro approximately 83 times. I think you, dear listener, can afford to let me go this one time on this one screw up. But the question is, can my co-host, who, as always, is with me, Adam Bell, forgive this screw up?
Well, of course.
Okay, cool. Thanks. We're just doing everything in one take today.
Yeah, I've screwed it up a time or two, so grace.
Out of approximately 83 times, you're allowed.
Yeah.
So, yep. Oh boy. So yeah, I'm fighting with audio issues today in that Adam and I record this over Zoom. Well, I take that. Adam and I hold these meetings over Zoom. Adam records them via the Zoom call. And sometime prior to last Sunday, Zoom stopped working with my nice fancy speakers.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of the nice output going out through my fancy display, because I have a cable goes out from the computer into the my fancy widescreen display, which plugs into the speakers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's just stopped working for no apparent reason. Zoom sees the speakers. Everything else plays through it fine. Slack calls, Skype calls, Ring Central calls, music, Windows sound effect comes out the fancy speakers just fine. Zoom sends it there and nothing happens. So Adam, you sound to me like you're in a tin can because the only thing Zoom can recognize is the dinky little 1-inch tweeter in front of my little HP desktop. So
nice. High quality. I'll have to say, you have a lot more technical difficulties than I do.
Dude, I don't understand it. I'm thinking like I have a lot more difficulties, period, these days. I just don't get it. The only thing I can, hope to do is just become better at coping with them.
And I've done one podcast with you and Scott had technical difficulties. So his technical difficulties are 100% of the podcasts that I've been on.
Yes. Well, there you go. See, that makes you feel good. But you must consider also that 100% of the podcasts that you've been on with Scott that have had technical difficulties also had me on them.
Yep. And we were recording in his non-preferred method.
Yes, there is that. So, oh, brother. So yeah, Zoom's not working for me, but it's kind of working for me, and I don't know, and whatever. Let's just like. I got my second COVID booster shot yesterday.
You did.
Yep.
So what is the time frame on the second one?
I believe I forget, it's either 4 months or 6 months after the previous one.
Mm-hmm.
I got mine in October 2021, so it's been 6 months for me.
Okay. See, I didn't get mine that long ago. I don't. It's on my card,
Yep.
But mine wasn't that long ago because you were able to get your original shots sooner than I was.
Virtues of working in healthcare.
Mm-hmm.
So
virtues. That's a funny word.
Hey, I joked about it with Sam. He was my right-hand man at Paradigm for several years, and he works primarily in higher education. And one of the benefits that he has working in higher education is that they pretty much shut down for 2 weeks, the week leading up to Christmas and after New Year's. They're just gone, and people it's like a free extra vacation,
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, that's that. And I get early vaccination against global pandemics. So there we go.
You give and take.
Uh-huh.
All right, well, cool.
So what else? What else has been going on your side? Your neck of the woods.
Neck of the woods. Well, we did our little mini podcast last week, but
Yes.
it's actually been a long time since we podcasted.
Yes.
Lots of things are, it's spring planting is getting ready to happen. So
Lilacs?
No, lavender.
Lavender. It starts with an L.
So we've this weekend I've got to get the tilling done, get my ground cover put down, and then in 2 weeks we're planting. So I've got a friend of mine coming up from Mexico he's one of the he's the oldest son of our missionaries that we go down there and work with, and I've known him since he was a little guy. Now he's a grown man, and so he's coming back. He's worked with me at Sublime, and he's coming back to help plant lavender. So it'll be fun.
Cool. IT and planting.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Sweet. He's a well-rounded guy.
Yeah. We've got that going. And then, well, we're doing all this renovation, putting down flooring down at the farm. And we haven't figured out exactly which allergen, which we'll get to my Nifty later on. My wife, her whole eyeballs, like from her eyebrows to the all the way swelled up red, like tried to make her not even be able to open her eyes, taking Benadryl every night just to get back into her seeing. So I bought something to help with that. Plus, well, we're renovating a pole barn. So the pole barn is a metal structure with residents built into it, but their previous residents were mice and dirt and all this allergenic stuff, that it wasn't the building wasn't the humidity wasn't kept low. It wasn't kept dry. So I'm sure there's some mold that we've released into the air. So mold, dander, feces, dead mice, dust, just construction dust, that all equals up to some stuff you really don't want to breathe.
Great. Yeah, not really. Ugh. Gross. Yeah, so you've sent me pictures from time to time about this this project that you're doing, this barn and stuff. It's pretty impressive, these photos you send. I don't think I can do that work. Like that is not the kind of stuff, not my strong point. And I just had a good friend of mine who is a general contractor come by he does like finish carpentry too, and that's his thing. And his house up in New Hampshire is just amazing. So nice. I really was hoping that I could hire him to come in and do, like my kitchen remodel for me. And he came in, he has some great ideas for kitchen and first floor cabinets and stuff, but he convinced me that I can do this myself. Like I need to find a good kitchen cabinet designer. I need a good installer. I need to find like the stone people to do the countertops. And then, then it's a matter of like just getting like coordinating with a plumber, an electrician, and appliances and stuff. So it's like, if other people are doing the work, I can probably coordinate it. Now the big question is finding who to do the work and not like getting raked over the coals, paying like way too much.
Yeah. So what he did is he gave you hope, he gave you vision, he gave you a plan, and then walked away and said, "Good luck, Peter."
Yep, pretty much. I was like, well, there we go. I have hope. Now I have a vision. Yes. And he, plan, give me a few little starting points. So I was like, okay, that's fair. That's fair.
If we've talked about on the podcast about, mere mortals dealing with technical stuff. If you are not a general contractor and you're not used to the ins and outs, I would probably hire a general contractor, because I think your quality of life will be better in that, because you can yell at the general contractor, not the plumber that won't ever return your call.
Well, here's the thing. So, and he also said I need like a tile guy if I want to, redo some tiling and stuff. But like I have a plumber and I have an electrician. So if I really just need the kitchen people, and if the kitchen designers are also the installers, that's the third out of the four. So I'm tempted to look at it myself. So, again, because I do kind of like handling projects is kind of what I do, right? So I'm not really that. I guess the thing is finding the resources to actually do the work. And my electrician and my plumber, knock on wood, are pretty responsive. So
well, they may know some people that they've worked with before.
There's another thought too. They may know. Maybe I should tap them for if they've worked with kitchen folks. That's a good call. That is a good idea. I will check them. I will check with them on that too. Thank you. Cool. See, it's great. Look at that. More hope.
More hope. No, it's funny. We had a contractor who came to our farmhouse, and he had remodeled a friend of ours. Well, he built their farmhouse from the ground up, and so we knew him and we knew the work he did. We had him come over, and he went through kind of like what that, just gave us all these ideas and things, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm not going to do it though. I'm too busy. I can, it's like, well, do you have anybody else that can do it? Because we really want somebody else to do it.
Throw me a freaking bone here."
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh man. So I ordered some new tires.
All right.
For my car.
Where'd you get them?
I ordered them on Amazon.
You did?
So my plan was that I would have them delivered and I would go to my local gas station, who's served me fairly well, and just have them do the installation, right? Just pop off the winters off the rims, pop these guys on, mount and balance, and go. They had given me a quote on them, but they were like $100 per tire more for a lower end than I was able to get on Amazon for Goodyears. Some decent, which are pretty much top rated tires. So, and then they said, "Hey, while you're doing this, do you want us to ship them to a local installer for you and have them install for $15 a tire?" I was like, "Sure."
Yeah.
So I said, "Yeah, please do." And I even called the local place and I was like, just to make sure, they're saying you'll do the installation of these for us. That includes everything: mounting, balancing, pulling off the rims. But yes, sir, it does. Why wouldn't I do that?
$15?
$15 a tire.
That doesn't even seem worth their time.
That's what I was saying. But I was like, okay, I'll do it. So I had the tires drop shipped. I got a notification from Amazon that they were there. And then I got a, important notice about your appointment. It's confirmed for 10 a.m. today. I was like, great. Drove there, got there. The guy can't find the work order, can't find the tires. I look, Amazon had emailed me at 9:40, 20 minutes prior. I was already in the car saying your appointment has been canceled. We're sorry. We've refunded your money.
The whole thing?
Yeah.
Even including the tires?
Yep.
Yeah, they've done that to me a couple times. Not as big a purchase as that, though.
Did they give you 20 minutes notice about an appointment that you had being canceled, though? That's the part that got under my skin. And then the guy asked me, he's looking, he couldn't find it. He was trying to find, comparable ones that they had in stock. They had them for like $10 a tire more in stock. I was like, if you got them, that's great. And then he's like, "What kind of car do you have?" I said, "It's a Tesla." He says, "Oh, we can't do that."
Yeah, we can't do that.
It's like, why not? It says, no, we're not certified to, if we, a company won't let us work on it. I don't have anyone here who's Tesla certified. Meanwhile, the general manager of the Tesla service center in Peabody has told me you can get your tires put on anywhere you want. Who do I believe? How do I know? Right.
Yeah.
I thought tires were pretty much okay. I didn't think that you had to be like that anyone was going to void the warranty by getting your tires changed somewhere else.
Yeah.
I'm inclined to go with Tesla on that one, but
Well, I'm thinking they didn't want the liability.
Yeah, that
they probably could have easily done the tire. There's nothing special about them. They didn't want the liability.
Yeah. So anyway, a friend of mine has a Costco membership, and she's telling me I should just get the tires there done at Costco, but it comes out to around $1,000. But apparently they've got this like super fancy warranty, white glove service kind of thing there. And at this point, I'm like, can I just make this problem go away? So I'm going to end up having to pay more just to make the problem go away again.
So I bought some tires in around Christmas time, but I bought Coker. I bought them from Coker, and they are white wall tires for my 55 Chevy truck.
Okay, I'm gonna say white walls. I haven't seen those in a while.
And the big white walls too, not just a little line, like a 3.5-inch white wall all the way around. It's a big
wall. Oh, white.
Yeah. So, but I've got to get mine installed. Same thing, to get somebody local, but they won't tell me they can't service that because there's no electronics in my truck other than my cell phone.
Nice.
Other than so I bought an aftermarket blinker because the truck didn't include blinkers. Blinkers were an option. And
back in the 50s?
Yeah, in the 50s. It has the dash, like if you look at the dash, it has where the LED or the light bulbs would blink to indicate in the instrument panel, but there were no blinkers purchased with it. So I purchased an aftermarket blinker system, complete circuit breaker blinker system. I put it on, it doesn't work. Brand new, out of the box, doesn't blink. You have to buy a blinker resistor in order for it to work. Those little silver cylinders that you put on at the end of the, it adds resistance and then actually does the blinking. I'm like, it is an electronic circuit. This is 2000, when I bought it, 2018. You telling me you can't make your little LED circuit go on and off? We've got to put on a blinker capacitor.
Yeah. And I just that just reminds me of a time about 20 years ago when I bought a bunch of Cisco Aeronet wireless access points. They didn't include the radios.
The radios or the antennas?
The radios.
The wireless access points didn't include the radios.
It was an eBay type scam kind of thing, like they're like, oh yeah, you didn't say you wanted radios with those. I was like, excuse me? That's like saying about, I just sold you a car and you didn't say you wanted the engine.
Yeah. How well does it run? Fine.
As long as you don't want it to go anywhere.
Yeah. It looks good right where it is.
Oh, brother. All right. What else is going on?
All right. So then have you done any running lately?
I have done running lately. Tomorrow I will be doing 10.5 miles with about 1,000 feet of elevation.
Nice.
So I'm heading up to Vermont because there's a birthday in the family that we'll be celebrating today. So I'll be at my folks' place, and which is in hill country in Vermont. So it's a good opportunity for me to get my elevation in on the miles. It's going to be all like back roads, all dirt road stuff. So it'll be an easy 10.5 miler. which will be my longest run since the half marathon.
Nah.
So that'll be fun. And about, it'll be the longest run from since the half marathon, and my second longest run since the marathon last year. So,
Nice.
yep. So from here on in, the long runs start to actually become appreciable. They'll start to add up. So, I'm looking forward to that. It's fun. And my running coach was out of the country for a little while, and he just got back. So we're going to sync up again in a couple of days. And but I'm really curious. Now you got me. Yeah, next week, actually, it dips back down a bit, and then it's back to 10.5 miles, then an 11.5, then 13, then it dips a little, then 13, 14, 15.5, then it dips, then 17, 19, 20. So wow. I did notice, though, and I'm going to talk with him about this next week, that his plan is a lot more conservative than some other ultra running guides that I've seen. Mm-hmm. And I'm curious about it, but I noticed that one thing that he's very concerned about, which is also gaining a lot of, seems to be like going around in the running zeitgeist these days, is overtraining. Mm-hmm. And people becoming, like all kinds of weird injuries and, just like lots of like weird stuff. Mm-hmm. Caused by like overtraining syndrome. And of course, when it's a syndrome, it means we don't really know what's going on here, but it seems to be associated to people who overtrain. So mm-hmm. maybe don't do that.
Yeah.
So but like I was looking at Hal Kerner. He's a very, famous world in his space, mm-hmm. world famous ultra marathoner. Like he runs the Western States 100, the Leadville 100, these are like 100-miler runs out West, and, not for the faint of heart or body or mind. And his like 16-week ultra marathon plan starts off with like 50 miles a week. Mm-hmm. And, and it's like some days you're doing 2 10Ks back to back. So you do one in the morning, one in the evening. You're doing like 13, 15-mile runs the first week and stuff. And 20-mile long runs on the weekends is the norm. But Coach Charlie's got me like the weekly volume only hits 50 when I peak in August, about a month before the race. Mm-hmm. And then it tapers back down again. So it's a very manageable schedule, because when Greg and I were training for the marathon last year, we were hitting 40, 50 miles. At least I hit 50 miles a week at least once. I forget when, but we were always up in the 30s, 40s range, definitely a lot more mileage. So I just hope it's enough. So, but anyway, it's fun. It feels good to be moving again. So I'm really happy about that. So.
Yeah, I think you just need to be somewhere in that middle ground of training enough and not overtraining, and finding out where the sweet spot is. Because, you train with David Goggins, the Navy SEAL guy, right before he started doing yoga, he was practically on his deathbed for overtraining.
Yep.
Overtraining and being understretched, just he was healthing himself to death.
Well, there's the expression goes, too much of a good thing, right?
Yeah.
So
gotta balance.
Yep, it's all about balance. On that note, I have been doing more yoga lately, which is mm-hmm. good. My meditation practice has slid back a little bit. I'm not meditating as long as I had been for as often. So I'm doing a little more shorter bite-sized sits. Mm-hmm. But yoga, definitely I'm doing more regularly, and I feel the difference. So I'm happy about that. And like I mentioned, I had my COVID shot again. So I'm up to my 4th shot overall as of yesterday. Just a sore shoulder, just like all the other times. It was enough to, like, I woke up a couple times last night when I rolled over onto that shoulder. I was like, ooh, that wasn't, but didn't stop me from doing, 3 sets of 25 push-ups so far today. And I'll bang out the last set before I hop in the car to drive to Vermont. So no reason not to do it. So, but overall, the body's feeling good. And, like diet, I've been allowing more sugars, mostly in the form of fruits, just because I'm burning more of those off, even though I really didn't want to get hung up on those, because, you're really only burning sugars when you're working out anaerobically, when you're like more in the higher heart rate zones. So I've been allowing myself more fat and stuff, but haven't really been doing much. My alcohol consumption is way down from where it was. I was talking to you and Scott about that 13% chocolate raspberry that I had.
Yeah.
Woo! That thing, I knew like 3 sips in, I was sitting on the couch and I'm like, guess I'm not going anywhere tonight.
Yeah.
That was nope. Just no. Just no. I'm just gonna sit here.
I'm gonna enjoy this beer and take a nap until 6 a.m.
Pretty much. And I couldn't even finish it. I felt terrible about it because it's like an $8 can of beer. So it's like, if we're talking more than 8%, I have to have a friend help me finish it. So,
Nice.
And I don't know, some people say, oh, that happens when you get old. But I also hear people say, well, it happens when you get more in shape, because your body becomes more in tune to this kind of stuff and the balance is more easily upset. So maybe it gets even worse when you're getting older and in shape. I don't know.
Yep. Well, they're going to do a little trail run at CrossFit in a couple weeks, and I'm going to go visit. I don't know that I'm going to do a trail run.
How long? When you say a little trail run, what's a little trail run?
I think it's like a 4 or 5K.
Oh, you could do that.
Oh, I know I could. I just don't want to.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I know I could.
I just don't want to take the chance I'm gonna twist an ankle or make a knee act up on a trail that is not a professional trail. It's just one of the guys at his house, at his farm.
That trail, it's so unprofessional.
Yeah.
That trail doesn't know what you can and can't say at work.
Yeah, it doesn't know that. It's not correct at all.
Trails.
Yeah. I'll go. It'll be social.
That's okay. My first 5K, I went there just for the beers.
Yeah.
I also, my girlfriend at the time told me about it, and I was like, okay, that's fine. You realize that I'm busy, right? Up until like, half hour into the start time. So I can't get there in time. They say, oh, don't worry about it. Just show up. So I was like, all right. So I just showed up, and yeah, everybody was done and they were all drinking.
There you go. Perfect.
Yeah, great. Thanks.
Well, for that matter, I mean, like a 4K, I could probably walk. I mean, I wouldn't even have to run it.
I mean, I'm sure there are plenty of people who do walk it, like people walk 5Ks all the time. So what are you going to do?
So what was the Blinkist?
Blinkist. I subscribed to Blinkist. I guess it's been a little over a week ago now. And it is a book summary service.
Okay.
And I'm really enjoying it. So I know you and I, we like to read books. I often don't have as much time to read books as I like. And I am all about like, just give me the nuts and bolts, right? Give me the summary, summarize it up, just give me the takeaways, right? So save me the time. And I know some people want to, say like, no, you need to read the whole book and, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, if I'm reading something for pleasure and enjoyment, of course, right? I mean, it's rare. Sometimes I will go back and rewatch Daredevil season 1 and just skip right, just go cut straight to the fight scenes, right? The action, right? Or Transformers movies. Those are good for that too, right? Or the chase scene in Paris in the middle of the G.I. Joe movie, right? That's a great example. But generally, if it's something I enjoy, I want to watch it, right? But if I want to know, like, give me what are the key takeaways from this so I can put some things into practice right now. I don't want to read 250 pages of fluff just to, like get 20 pages worth of content. Similarly, I attended a CrowdStrike training course earlier this week. It was 8 hours long, out of which 2 hours were useful to me. And frankly, they could have just given this little 1-page tutorial on these 3 commands and given me some exercises to do, and I would have been just as good.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of thing I'm like, give me just the facts, man. Just give me, just give me what I need so I can do my job, and let me get to work, and there you go. So Blinkist, it's a subscription. And there's an app for that, or you can listen to them on the website. And they've got a lot of good stuff. That was the other thing too, is like when I first looked at it, and when I first looked at Blinkist, they didn't have the like a specific book that I was looking for. So I'm like, well, they don't have this book, then obviously it's useless, right? So I'm not gonna read it or not gonna subscribe to it because they don't have what I'm looking for. But since then, they have added books by authors that I really do like. So like Tim Ferriss, The 4-Hour Workweek is summarized there. David Allen, Getting Things Done. Extreme Ownership, Jocko Willink. These are all books that I've read and gotten value out of in the past. So it's kind of cool to see that these are here. They have a lot of book summaries. They also have a lot of podcasts, and I skip those. I always I've got plenty of podcasts, and I already subscribe to some of the ones that are in there. So I was like, I don't need those again. But I've like chewed up, I don't know, at this point I've like gotten 23 books, I think. I've finished 29 different items, but I think that includes some podcast episodes.
Okay.
But I've essentially consumed approximately 20 books in less than 2 weeks. And for me, that's astonishing. That's a lot because I'm a really slow reader. So that's the cool thing. And I've definitely gotten some takeaways. The downside is that a lot of this stuff is stuff that I already know. So it's just sort of reaffirming, things that I already know. But again, there's value because, we as human beings are a forgetful lot. And we need to be reminded things and retrained things and retaught things. So overall Blinkist, I mean, it costs like $5-6 a month or something like that. I forget now. I did the annual thing, and it's a free 1-week trial, and I was like, yep, lots of good stuff. Stuff on I've finished books on nutrition, Buddhism, leadership and management, relationships, economics, just all kinds of cool stuff. So it's pretty cool. I like it.
See, I could see the benefit in some of the things that I don't have interest in, but want that knowledge, like nutrition. That doesn't interest me, but I want to have a healthy diet that I want to have the energy to work out. I want to, not be packing on extra pounds. So I'm interested in nutrition. I'm not interested in learning about nutrition.
Right. For example, do you need to read a 200-page book about a diet and the history of why we're obese and how this happened and why if you do blah, 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 blah? Or do you say, okay, I trust this author. I know that they've got useful stuff. Just give me the diet plan. Right? I don't need to know. I already know that carbs can be bad for you, that starchy processed foods are bad, sugar is bad, too much fat is bad, too much alcohol is bad. Got it. What do I do about it? Right? Just give me the plan. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I can see that I might be interested in that for certain things that, like I said, that just they don't enthrall me with the interest. Well, like I read, so William McRaven, Admiral William McRaven.
Admiral McRaven, yes.
Yeah, so he wrote the Make Your Bed.
Yes.
He gave a Texas, University of Texas commencement speech, which was like I don't know, it was like a 5 to 10 minute, little speech. And he went through major points and he told minor stories. And then he wrote the book on expounding upon the stories, and which I thought was good. But you could have gone like you could have gone with just his summary, but
right. And extreme ownership, I would say, is very similar. Right?
Yeah,
there's a lot of stories and stuff where they talk about how they were pinned down in Ramadi, and there was this and that, and the sniper was this, that, and the other. Or you can get the same summary in a few minutes. And the takeaway is, like, sometimes you should listen to a junior officer, right? Just because you're the commanding officer doesn't mean you know everything. So listen to your people, right? I don't need to tell you a big old story and read in for, like 20 pages to just say, like, listen to your people. Are you the expert just because you have rank? No, listen to your experts, right? Boom, easy takeaway, right?
Yeah.
So that's a good example.
Yeah, so those are good. I do find that, like you said, I'm a human and I forget things, but I don't forget stories as much.
You're not alone there. We're wired for stories, as they say. And I don't know how exactly that happened, but over the years, like, storytelling has become one of the ways that people become more interested, they're more engaged, and they tend to remember those more. So stories help.
Yeah. Well, stories, since we're talking about memorization and like mind work, songs, I can remember a song and song lyrics for a song I haven't sung in 10 years. I have memorized poems. I've memorized, Shakespeare. I could barely recite any of that stuff, but I could sing a stupid song from the 80s.
To all beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun.
Yeah. You take away the song, and say, all right, I want you to write down all the things that are in a Big Mac, Peter. You'll be like,
and because in the back of my mind, I'm singing the ingredients to myself. I can do that.
Yeah. But without the song, it's like, okay, hamburger bun, meat, there's sauce. A bun in the middle, sauce,
cheese, lettuce.
Yeah.
Probably tomatoes would be good. Yeah.
Yeah. I think there's part of our brain wiring that songs mute, the melody, it's in our brain with the words.
They help. They sure help.
So, cool. What else do we have?
I did come across an interesting article on stupidity.
An interesting article. It was a stupid article, or it was an article on stupidity?
It was not a stupid article. It was an article on stupid, and it was pretty funny because it tells you, like, what is a stupid person. And let me dig up. We should definitely put this in. I sent it to you in our in the extended Friends with Beer podcast channel. But a stupid person is essentially someone whose actions don't basically endanger others and themselves. Okay,
they do danger themselves or
yes. So there, if you plot this on an axis, and we'll put this in the show notes, if you plot losses and benefits on the x-axis, right? So benefits will be to the right, losses to the left, and then that's to yourself, self benefit and self loss.
Mhm.
And then you plot benefits to others and losses to others on the y-axis,
Mhm.
right? So again, high and to the right is generally where you want to be. You're taking actions that benefit yourself and other people.
Mhm.
Those, the author claims, these are the actions of intelligent people, right? So everything I do, I try to benefit you and I try to benefit me, right?
That
An
sounds
example,
smart.
client relationships, right?
Mhm.
We're not just trying to take our clients' money. We're trying to take our clients' money, and in return, we give them value back for their services.
Mhm.
Hopefully, we're giving them more value than they could do on their own or with
Mhm.
someone else. So we do that, and they get, in return, we get compensated. Bandits, on the other hand, take actions that benefit themselves and cause losses to others.
Okay.
Right? I'm working with a specific managed services provider right now, a vendor who is displaying bandit-like behavior.
Mhm.
They are getting paid handsomely and they're doing a lousy job,
Mhm.
right? So to them, they're getting benefits because they got a lot of our money, but we're not getting the benefits from their service, right?
Mhm.
Then there are helpless people. Helpless people, they take actions which benefit other people, but at loss to themselves.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So these would be people who are paying too much for services, right? People who are like, dropping $100,000 on a kitchen remodel, but, someone else could have done it for 25,
Mhm.
right? Or someone who wanted to buy tires for his Tesla and, buys them at $168, but nope, he ends up having to pay $500 a tire, right?
Yeah.
That's more than I'm going to be paying, by the way. But
Yeah.
anyway, and then finally, low and to the left, which is where you don't want to be, stupid people. Stupid people cause losses to others and losses to themselves.
Mhm.
These are people who constantly call the help desk because they lock themselves out because they can't remember their own password. People who get hacked because they willingly divulge their credentials to a phishing website,
Mhm.
right? And so they're being inconvenienced. Oh, and work is too,
Yeah.
right? People who should have no business being behind the wheel, who crash into other cars and cause damages.
Mhm.
So anyway, it was an interesting, plot though, when you look at it and like, wow. Given this perspective, I'm like, I like that. I'm going to use this definition to really, define stupid.
Mhm. Yeah.
Because it makes sense. You're not just someone of low intellect, right? You're
Mhm.
someone who you're doing things that are hurting you and you're hurting me.
Yeah.
I have no place for you in my universe. Go away.
So let me tell you a stupid thing that I did that I just rectified before the podcast.
Okay, good. I'm glad you've rectified it.
Yeah. So I was getting so my news feeds, when Apple dropped their news feed into the operating system, I chose all these headlines or all these topics that I like: photography, outdoors, travel, science, all these things that are interesting to me. Well, at some point, I clicked on some pop culture thing, like something pop culture came across, and I
Mhm.
clicked it.
Mhm.
Well, what I then did when I clicked it, it went, I read the article, then it went away. I was like, okay, cool. And then the next listing of things that I was interested in, I could read them. Well, then I read it, but it only shows, interesting things in my list. So what I did is I now made that pop culture thing that I'm not really interested in, but I read the article as, hey, Adam is interested in this.
Uh-huh.
And then I start getting, so I got like all these stupid, the royal, the English royals, these things start popping up. And I found that if I click on them and then close them, they will go away and then the proper news articles that I want to read show. But at the same time, I'm generating a history of he likes to read these People magazines. And before I knew it, today I was like, the only thing in my stupid news feed is Kardashians, pop culture, the Foo Fighters band member, all these things. I'm like, I don't care. And I had just had enough. So I dug into the news feed. I cleared my history. I blocked anything to do with any of I didn't want to hear anything about Britney Spears ever again, the Kardashians ever again. I was like, I never want to see these in my news feed. But that was pretty stupid. I was like, what the heck? Because
so how is that stupid though? How is that causing a loss to others?
Well, it wasn't causing a loss to anybody else, I guess. But it was yeah, I don't know where it fits in the quadrant. It doesn't fit into all the way into the stupid.
Right. Well,
doing actions without harming others. Yeah.
Right. So like you could argue that you are wasting resources on the servers and your ISP. But at the same time, you're probably seeing advertisements, which is making somebody money.
Yeah. Somebody was probably making money.
So you're actually, in that case, you were more like a helpless person.
Yeah. More helpless, stupid.
Oh, and that was one I missed the fifth one. If you're right in the middle, and your actions don't benefit anyone or don't cause losses to anyone, then you're just an ineffectual person.
Ineffectual. Yeah.
Yeah. You pretty much do no harm. You're true neutral on the Dungeons and Dragons scale. You can't take a side. You don't do anything. You're just right in the middle.
Yeah. But, like you said, the things that I was interested in, the science, the photography, the things like that, those weren't getting any of the advertising dollars or marketing.
Yep. So you weren't helping those that you'd want to be helping.
Yeah. So it was kind of in the stupid quadrant.
Kind of stupid. Yep.
It was also, I was just busy and I'm like, I know how to work around this. I'll just click it. And then the next article will come up that I want to possibly read. But I was making my problem worse.
As we are wont to do. Oh, brother. What else we got?
Let's see. Well, we have some longer topics that I think we're kind of running out of time on that we might want to, something we wanted to touch on was meditation, cures, the employee and how you dealt with that as a manager a while back.
Let's save those. Let's save the deep dives and maybe actually focus on one of those when we're not busy just playing catch up.
Yeah. And I don't think we talked about your car, but your car is back up and running other than it's tireless, right?
Well, it's not tireless, thankfully. It's got tires. It's winter tired right now. Which after winter, aren't we all a little bit tired? So yeah, the car is actually running okay right now. So there you go.
Perfect.
But I had a long series of tech fails with Apple, Tesla, Verizon, and Microsoft. And I believe we talked about Microsoft, did we not?
I think we did.
I thought we had talked about how Microsoft was changing everything on everybody and how that affected you and
the new commerce
our
edition,
clients.
all that. Yeah. So we did talk about that.
Yep.
So I do have my Nifty.
Let's do your Nifty.
Let's do the Nifty.
Let's wrap up on a high note.
On a high note. So I purchased a Honeywell Air Purifier on Amazon. And because I explained why all the allergens were affecting my wife. So I bought two of them, one for the loft area, one for the downstairs area. And it's pretty slick. It's really quiet. It was the more expensive model. I was like, well, I'm going to probably buy this once, so I'm going to buy it right. So it was $180 for an air purifier, but it's got 3 HEPA filters on it, and then it's got a pre-filter in front of that, and it's quiet. You can't even hear the thing. I mean, you can turn it on high. If you turn it on high, you can hear it, but the low, where it's running all the time, it sounds like it's raining outside lightly. That's what it sounds like, but you're not sure, like, is it? is it raining? Yeah. And you can't, it's really quiet. But then I realized, like, how do I know the quality of the air? I mean, I'm going to put this in the air. I'm going to put this in the room. How do I know if it's any better?
Mm-hmm. Are
So
you
then
getting any value for this service?
yeah. So then I had to buy an air purifying or an air quality tester. So I bought one of those. So now, because I do want to know. Like,
There's always something more to buy, isn't there?
yeah, because I can't quantify it. I can't. I mean, if I take it now, I don't know what the quality of the air is, and for me, it's not that big of a deal. I mean, it's because the air quality doesn't affect me like it affects her. But
Right. Well, I was going to ask, like, how does it affect you? Like, are you able to just tell? Can you feel it? Can you smell the difference? Or
I can't, other than sometimes I have a little bit more nose congestion, and I think that that's because of physical dust, not so
Mhm.
much allergy dust. And then I've had a weird phenomenon where, like, at the corner of my eyes would get like a little duct block or whatever,
Little
and
gunk.
the gunk, and then it would kind of make like a scab. And so if I wiped it off, I was kind of like wiping off a scab, and it wouldn't heal right. So it's like,
Yeah.
but that hasn't bothered me in months now. So, so we'll
That's
see.
good. That's
So,
good.
so hopefully I'm gonna get the air quality. I'm hoping that it's really bad, and then the air purifier makes it really good.
First world problems that we live with.
Yeah.
That should be the name of our podcast. First world problems. This beer is too strong. I can't finish it by myself.
I couldn't possibly finish it.
My electric car with self-driving is, I can't get the right tires for it. I know. Oh, brother. On that note, why don't you wrap us out? That sounds nifty though. So I want to know when you're done with it though, is will you have decided that it was worth it?
Yeah. So that's why I'm gonna test the air quality and see our baseline, and then hopefully it'll be much better. So
Report back to us here on the Blurring the Lines podcast.
inquiring minds want to know.
At least two of them do.
At least two, yeah. All right. Well, dear listener, we do want your feedback. If you'd like to discuss a particular topic, then you can drop us a line at www.blurringthelinespodcast.com. The fellow who's dropping, advertisements to me via our comments, I'm not going to discuss those. But if you do want to reach us, you can reach find more about us at Paradigm. You can find more about Peter at paradigmcc.com, yogawithpeter.com, friendswithbeer.com. You can also find me at sublimecomp.com. And with that,
push the big red button.
Big red button.